I thought I had the brain rot thing, and I was looking for the brain rot thing. That's why that took a second there, because I'm like,
That's okay. We're jamming up to the music.
I have a button here for little slam sector is slamming brain rot slam brain.
That is in fact how it goes. No, it's okay. I mean, the music's good, so I was just out here like,
hold on, let's
dancing to it.
Let's just see if I'm dumb or not. Is this it? It's not it. That's not it. Oh no, and now it's like doing
Listen, Sean, it's okay. This would not be Slam Sector if it wasn't immediately scuffed.
Yeah.
When does the music now stop?
It won't. That's the beauty of this. Oh, I found it. Hold on, I found it. Just to make sure we've done this right, I found it. I found it.
Slam Sector contains levels of brain rot that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
What? Why is it music turning on? Hold on. Oh my god.
Just mute the audio.
I can't. It's not a separate audio track.
Oh man.
There we go. Fuck me.
Man.
God. Anyways.
Sean, there's one problem, which is we've definitely rotted brains and then gave the warning.
Yeah.
So I think we're still technically liable for that brain rot because we didn't warn people first.
And I'm not typing this out now. It's not me doing that. Anyway,
Andy, today, hello. One Speed, hello. I'm so glad you're here to witness the rot, the scuff. Hello, Sean.
It's kind of funny that we are doing scuff, and also, you know what? I think it is kind of interesting that we don't have Jordan or Ryan or Matt, who. Not that you're not always on the channel, but I'm not frequently on the channel, and you see,
we'll be honest. I'm not frequently on the channel either. I mean, I'm more behind the cameras during the actual Slam sessions than I am on the After Dark or on screen.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I'm on most of the After Darks, but I'm saying you're on stream. For the actual live streams, I'd say at least 50% of the time.
Yeah, but usually behind the camera.
Yeah, that's fair. There's nothing wrong with that, though.
I'm a sneaky guy. I'm creeping about.
Now, and Elliot, by the way, I don't have chat open. That's a total lie. I definitely have chat right here. But I'm not going to have chat open because I'm going to be managing some other things. So
no, you're totally fine. I will. Listen, I've done Twitch streaming for years. I'm still terrible at it, but I know how to read a chat. That's at least the one thing I know how to do.
One day I'll stream on Twitch. One day. Not soon though. Anyways, so I had this back in the beginning of the year. We were talking about, hey, what can we do this year that's different from last year? What do we want to work on? We have some big things that we still haven't even talked about yet publicly. That I'm excited about, and I know some other people of the channel are even more excited about and probably a little bit more intimidated about. But one of those things, I jokingly came up with the name Skirmish Summer. And I said it to Jordan, and he's like, that's dumb. What the hell Skirmish Summer? And I said, look, we play, and I gave him a list of like 20 Skirmish games, right?
There's a lot out there. Yeah.
Now, a lot of those Skirmish games we would never play on the channel. In fact, our internal list had a lot of games that we would never actually play on the channel. And we have decided to actually, and the more we talked about it, the more we went, yeah, this is a dumb idea. I wanted to play like Necromunda and Warcry, which are games that I'm super interested in. But we decided against Necromunda for a good reason, and we'll probably talk about that later. And
we mentioned that in the Discord, yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned in the Discord. We want to, if we do Necromunda, we'll do it like 3 weeks straight or 4 weeks straight, so we can do a little mini campaign with it and actually dig into those mechanics. But the more we talked about it, the more we realized, hey, there are a bunch of like skirmish games we want to play and that we want to try on the channel. And you guys know recently we did Quar on the channel, which people really liked. We've done some Shatterpoint on the channel. I didn't want to commit us to doing Skirmish Summer because I don't live in the same town as everyone else.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but somehow it happened, and we're doing Skirmish Summer. So, without,
because I mean, it's still fun.
It's fun, but it's like a little bit of like, hey, everyone's got to learn. Like, if we do it 6 weeks, which we're doing 6 weeks, it means that everyone's got to learn a new game system. And especially with like the way I originally had it, where it was a bunch of games we wouldn't normally play on the channel. Everyone's got to learn a new game system and paint armies for it and buy armies for it.
Yeah.
Which is a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so like originally when it was going to be me, it's like, oh, well, I have like 3 Warcry armies or that I've never used. I just have them for D&D minis, you know, and I could buy some Necromunda shit that like I would use, you know, so no one else has to worry about it. That's not what we ended up doing. So let's just cut to the chase here. It's funny, the fade in actually showed the schedule, so you might have seen the schedule already.
Little sneak peek,
close attention. But good news is I do have to take some responsibility and some liability for this because I will be kicking off Skirmish Summer June 16th.
Yep.
With Infinity.
I'm going to be honest. I have tried 3 different videos to explain to me how Infinity is played, and it seems impenetrable. Until I sit down. I feel like it's one of those games I'm going to have to sit down and actually play, but trying to get someone to explain it to me, also, it really doesn't help that they were using the unit names. So they're like, this Kurtov is shooting a blurg. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
And the unit names are like so astronomically ridiculous. Like the unit names are ridiculous.
Yes. I was having a hard time.
I don't know. Because so the game, so Corvus Belli, the company that makes Infinity, is they're Spanish.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they're like alien names translated into Spanish or what. Right? Like I don't know what's the like what is making this be so here we go. Hold on. There we go.
Yeah, we did it.
I don't know if like right, if it's a matter of like their alien names translated into Spanish, but I mean, here I've got my list here on this paper. It's a Rysat, a Chrysot, a Raktorak,
yep,
Dartok, Zerat. Those are. How am I supposed to remember what those are when and how's my opponent supposed to know what the fuck I'm saying? When they already have a hard time remembering Intercessor versus Infiltrator versus Inceptor.
Yeah, I can't understand the difference between those because all Space Marines look and sound the same. What I will say in favor of Corvus Belli and why every time I go into the gaming store, I stop and I look at all the Infinity models and I look at the range and I go, these are cool every time. And I go, man, I kind of want to get these models. I kind of want to play this game just because looking at them, they're pretty. And Ryan gave me a little bit of a lore dump the other night, just kind of running me through all the different factions and a quick rundown of like what they're about and like the history of the world. Pretty cool stuff. I'm a big fan of like big megacorp space opera, rebellion AI stuff. That's all really cool, like notes to hit. So it looks really beautiful. It has an interesting setting. The names make it not so easy. And then at the very least, and this isn't a point against it, there's just certain games that if someone tries to tell you the rules, you're not going to get it. But if you sit down and play it, you immediately will. At least for me, Infinity seems to be one of those games where I'm going to have to actually put my hands on it to understand it. But I've played plenty of board games that were like that. Like going over to a friend's house and playing board games. Some board games are, if they try and tell you, just read from the booklet, nothing gets into your head. But then you sit down and you learn the rules in 5 minutes if they're just like, roll this right now, you know? I have a feeling that's all.
This is one of the most dense games I've ever read. And
Mm-hmm.
I am very intimidated by it. I'm very concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, man. I just
have to get some practice games in on tabletop.
Yeah, so we're going to me and I don't know, I don't know if we've like decided we're gonna reveal who's playing everything or what. Ryan and I are gonna be playing Infinity.
Yeah.
So it's oh damn it, that's like a super weird zoomed in version of this picture. Okay, anyways, this is the oh, I have to these are some of the minis. This is the force I will be playing, the Morat aggression force, which are a bunch of big apes. And
they remind me of the brutes from Halo, but less hairy and more almost like especially with this red color scheme that they've done, they remind me of the brutes if they were Oni, like Japanese future Oni.
Yeah, so I think the game's definitely got a Japanese kind of like aesthetic, like almost anime inspired aesthetic, which comes along with like this weird cyberpunk space opera like mix of genre they have. They remind me the way I kind of took them. They remind me of the brutes plus the elites.
Yeah, that's fair. Because they do have that kind of sleek elite armor to them as well.
Yeah, and they have a little bit of mysticism tied in. None of these models, but they have witch soldiers.
So. They use that like green sword that one guy has, right? Mm-hmm. Those witch soldiers. Yeah. Like witch blades. I did see that apparently just recently they broke off the JSA, the Japanese like faction used to be part, like in lore used to be part of like the Chinese faction, and then there was like a civil war and they broke off and now they're their own faction. So if you want to run around with space, like cyber space samurai and cyber space ninjas, which is like the most like Metal Gear anime, like that's what I want to play, because like if I'm going to be a weeb in space, I'm going to be a weeb in space. You know what I mean?
There's like teddy bear robots. There's there's like a big Russian bear unit that like I don't know what it is. There's so many weird tropes. There's some like Sisters of Battle, Black Templar stuff in there too. Like lots of cool stuff in there.
And then there's like weird, like our modern day, like Russian spec ops guys. Mm-hmm. And then also a space ninja, and also like an alien made of noodles. Like it's weird. It's weird stuff.
There's the worm medics.
The worm medics. Yes, the worm medics. No, it's cool stuff. I'm definitely interested. I would definitely like to get some TTS games in to see if I can wrap my head around it. Because like you said, the rules are dense. Yeah. But as far as the things that make you want to learn those rules, Infinity really knocks it out of the park, I feel. Because every time I look at it, I go, yeah, that's rad.
It looks way more tactical than I ever would play, but also like there's a weird like verisimilitude from that. Like all the equipment is detailed out. All the equipment does different stuff. I'm like super curious to see how this goes. So let's not dwell too long on this one. On Infinity, but also this next one, because this next one is a game we've played on the channel before, twice now, and we're gonna play it again on June 23rd. It's Star Wars Shatterpoint. Now, full disclosure, I had pick of the litter from the available games because I'm flying from California and have to get an army prepped and then transport it. This was technically my third choice, but only because my second choice got kicked off the list. This was my second choice. I have a list like spec'd out, ready to go. I probably will never change that list. That'll be my one list in this game I ever run, is a bunch of Mandalorians. Elliot, I know
That's fair.
you threw your name in the hat on this one too. I don't think you're playing it.
I was not chosen to play that one. Are we just saying who's playing them?
I think so.
Okay. Then that one's Jordan and Ashton. Is going to be, I'll read it out. You don't got to worry about it. It's Jordan and Ashton.
I can't move that screen now.
It's fine. Playing Shatterpoint. I put my name in the hat because I directed the first time we did Shatterpoint. I was behind the camera and I got to see how it was played. And I have to say, really, really well designed game design. Just from like a game design perspective, even if you don't like Star Wars, even if you're like, I don't care about Star Wars, right? Like you're just like, whatever. Get some non-Star Wars minis with with a friend, and then just use the rule set. It's really cool, right? It's a really smooth system. It's a really intuitive system. It's a really dynamic and fun and interesting way of handling like the flow of combat and the, pressing your opponent and pulling the tide of battle in your favor. The way that the activations work, the fact that when a unit gets eliminated, they get one more activation before they're actually taken off the board, so you don't feel like you're wasting them. Really cool.
In 40K, you got to spend command points for that.
Yeah. Just Shatterpoint's a really cool system. If I ever did play it, I would do. I saw someone who 3D printed out the Knights of Ren and had those as like a Sith cohort thing.
They have the Inquisitor. They probably use the Inquisitor.
It was the Inquisitors, and then they use the Knights of Ren as that, like a stand-in for that. That was really cool. That's what I would want to play. I think the Knights of Ren look really cool. They're very anime coded, which I really like. I know at least in the movie, maybe they were cooler in the comics. At least in the movie, they had like only one really kind of neat fight scene, and that was about it. They're intimidating. That's what I would play if I played Shatterpoint. But it's a cool system. I can't recommend it enough to people, even if you're not a big fan of Star Wars. It is rules-wise, game design-wise, enough to play it.
And I am a huge fan of Star Wars, clearly. I've got, all kinds of Star Wars bullshit behind me. Mm-hmm. I ironically have no minimal. I have a hard time marrying my tabletop love, like D&D and what have you, with Star Wars. I've played a lot of Star Wars role playing, but the thought of Star Wars tabletop where I'm using existing characters doesn't rock with me, right? They're
that part's a little weird.
Guys. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I kind of. If I was playing Shatterpoint with friends more casually, honestly, I would probably want to just 3D print some models and then just name them and bring that customization in. Part of the reason I like the Knights of Ren, the idea of using them is, yes, they're Star Wars, but I don't really know much.
No one knows anything about them. Yeah.
No one knows anything about them. And so I kind of get to have that projection of what I want onto them. And also they're very anime. So, that's why I lean that way. But just as a top-down game design perspective, rad.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one is another game we've played on the channel. We've also had the creator of this game on the channel quite recently. We are going to play more Quar June 30th.
Also a very cool game.
Okay, so I'm partly responsible for the Quar thing because I kept joking about it because I saw a dumb video and I'm like, oh yeah, we should check out Quar. I have minimal interest in the actual game. I just love that it exists, right?
When I first was hearing about the Quar and I heard you talking about it, I heard everyone talking about it, I was like, I just could not care less, right? I just don't care. It looks goofy. I've got enough games going on. I just whatever, right? After watching it being played. I was up behind the cameras on that one as well, and getting to see the game design and the game flow of it, and the strategy and the way the points worked and stuff. Very well designed, very cool. I wish I could be a game designer. That's like a fanciful idea that I have. So when I see good game design, when I see things work well and interesting, it excites me, right?
Yeah.
Core has some cool systems, and also, again, the setting I'm okay on. The fact that they're little anteater dudes, I'm okay on. And they're walking around with little teacups and baguettes and stuff, I'm okay on. But honestly, the interview with the creator and actually seeing the gameplay, that's actually kind of what brought me into liking Quar. He's a very creative dude. He's a very passionate dude. He really cares a lot about these things and also really wants to get his stuff out there. And even if it's silly and even if it's, not perfect, he's going to do that. And I have a lot of respect for that. And so that alone makes me go, okay, I actually might want to check out Quar, right? Like you can feel there's passion behind it. And that's one of the things I really like.
Yeah, I think his name was Josh. Hearing Josh talk about the game design and like his whole God, he's got so many ideas percolating in that damn brain. It
reminded me of Ryan in that way. Ryan is absolutely full of ideas, but he's Ryan if he isn't being precious, just like he told Ryan, don't be precious with your ideas. And I have a lot of respect for that. I find that very inspiring, honestly. That makes me then want to go I need to. You're right. I do need to put my stuff out there, and maybe someone doesn't like it. Maybe they do. Maybe it's a Quar. Who knows? Very cool.
Now, next game, I'm shocked we haven't played this on the channel.
But before we move on from Quar, just real quick, as a reference to the Quar game that we played, One Speed Wonder says, "Remember, kids, don't run into the field of view of a machine gun position during Quar."
It's so that's such a 40K thing to do too. Hey, let me charge the heavy weapons guys with my Corn Berserkers, right?
They were not in the mind state they were not in the mind state of Quar. They tried to play it like 40K and they got gunned down by each other. It was great. Anyway.
Okay, so the next game, I don't think we've played it on the channel. I'm kind of shocked about that. Because it only makes sense for us to have played this. Is Kill Team.
Yep. So I'll be in that one. I'll be playing that one.
You and Zach Ab?
It is me and Matt.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So we've done boarding actions on the stream. What got me into 40K was first edition Kill Team.
Same.
And I have to say, I'll see how it goes. I'm going to learn all the rules. It's very different from where it started. Yeah. It's surprisingly different from where it started. When I first started, it was
to clarify, when we say first edition Kill Team, we don't mean original first edition Kill Team. We mean first edition Kill Team of the current run of Kill Team.
Oh, is it?
To your olds people. There is an older Kill Team that's not as well established. You started in 8th edition.
I believe so.
Yeah. The old Kill Team is like old. It's not.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying.
It's not.
Yeah. The one thing I will say that I didn't realize, and I don't necessarily love, but things change, and that's fine. When I got into Kill Team, it was, hey, here's a list of units. They're worth this many points. Put together your army list, and then they do these things, and it's cool. And you can customize them and do all these things, right? It was a little bit closer to 40K in a way. Now it's here's a dedicated list. There's barely any options to change, if any. And that's just what they do, and that's flat out, and that's it. And you can only run these dudes. That makes me less interested.
Yeah, I know. So that was what I mean. So the way I got into 40K was my wife got me a gift card to my game shop for our anniversary, and we weren't married at the time. This was
Mhm.
I don't know, 7 years ago, 6 years ago. And I bought a beginner's paint kit
Mhm.
to paint minis, and I've always been anti-mini for D&D. I've been a D&D guy for 14 years. I'm like, no, theater of the mind, we don't use minis, we don't need to spend
This
money on
is a
that.
wild thing coming from you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
aware.
legitimately feel like you're lying to me right now.
No.
The statement of Sean Sully
No, it's
is
anti-mini. Yeah.
the idea of Sean, I have a million minis, Sully is against minis is
Well,
insane to me.
So that's the problem, is I knew once I started, I would have to have, right?
You knew that you knew it was a cocaine addiction.
Yeah, if you don't have any,
Okay.
you just imagine. But if you have some, then you go, well, that's not a troll. That's a
You're the physical embodiment of that like meme where it's like, okay, of course I had to get the little guy, he's cute, but what if he got lonely? I had to get him a buddy. and what if they got tired of each other and like and then I had to buy the whole set. You're that soundbite.
The number of goblins I have is ridiculous. I don't need as many goblins as I have. So I bought a box, and then I'm like, okay, well, I want to learn to paint minis better. I looked up some mini painting videos online, and I stumbled on Uncle Adam. I don't know what his channel's called, but he was talking about Kill Team and how easy it was to get in Kill Team and Death Watch, and I recognize the name Death Watch from Star Wars, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna play Death Watch. And 6 months later, I had an army instead of a Kill Team. But yeah, I like
that's basically what happened with me. Yeah,
I like that Kill Team was an onboard to 40K.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's not. Now it's a separate thing, and that's good in its own right. But like, combat patrols.
Before for Kill Team, you could buy one box of Immortals, and then you have a Kill Team. But also, you've got a box of Immortals, and you could take other things in your list. So then you were like, okay, well, what if I bought a few other things? Right now, it's you buy the one box that has those dudes, and many times they don't translate over to 40K at all. Like the two Votan boxes, one box, the Jaegirs, does perfect. And then you have them in 40K and they're there. The Warrior box that you can get, the Salvagers for Kill Team, like you basically just have to go like, and they're normal Warriors for 40K. And so I feel like they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that. I don't really know. But I will say, One Speed Wonder says...
the same way, though. Warcry is the same way, though. Yeah.
One Speed Wonder says, I'm joining a beginner league, and Kill Team will be our starting point. And I watched some Kill Team content, guys, and they really like this edition. All right. Yeah, so I haven't played since first edition. So I'm very like, this is me literally just going like, I really enjoyed first edition because it's what got me into 40K. I didn't look at it for years now. I look back and I go, oh, this is different. That's my entire gripe. For all I know, I'm going to love it. It's just a very different thing than what I was looking at originally.
So I will say I jumped into the second edition Kill Team.
Oh, okay.
With the Krieg and the Orc box and the new updated rules with the doodads and the symbols. Fucking hated it. I hated it. But that being said, what I hear is this edition is that fixed. All the good ideas from that, with a lot of the bulk bad stuff missing. So I do want to try it. I have an easy Kill Team that I probably own all the parts for already in the form of the Astartes Kill Team, and I probably own a couple Kill Teams that I don't even realize. But I don't know. Maybe when I get out,
especially the Space Marine ones, the few of them are a little bit harder to have like the Kill Team for. Like I can't just run a Votan Salvager unit because I just don't have the dudes. But some of them are a little bit easier to have just like on hand on accident versus others.
Yeah, I know the 1,000 Suns one is kind of like that too. If that one still exists, I don't know. That's the other thing is they're doing the standard rotation that I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, like right now you can't even play third edition Necrons. Like the only kill teams they have for Xenos are a Kroot band, two things for Votan, the Salvagers and the Jaeger, a Rekka crew for Orcs, and the Pathfinders and Vespids for Tau. So like not even all the Xenos are in there right now. They have the Eldari, and it's its own separate thing, and they've got Corsairs, Craft Worlds, and Harlequins, which that's fun. I am happy that Harlequins get some love because I am a huge fan of Harlequins.
Well, that's another thing. There are a couple kill teams that like I wouldn't ever buy the army, but like the Corsairs, like the Corsair box looks really cool. And back when I was playing first edition kill team, like I built a Drukhari kill team because they like, I could have a squad of Drukhari. It's kind of cool, but I don't know. I feel maybe a little disincentivized now. Oh, I guess the other kill team that I would run is Imperial Agents. Because I have all those. And I've done like bitch and kit bashes on them. Hey, shout out to Epic Gamer in the chat because he did point out that the Morat names from Infinity are bastardized Japanese because I wanted to paint a bunch of symbols on their armor, and now I have inspiration for what to use for their symbols. Is bastardized
I
Japanese.
did not realize that. And that's the Morat. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because
that's the
so you could be
apes.
Space Oni versus Cyber Samurai.
Yeah, I'm in.
Which would be rad. Yeah.
I'm in. Well, the rest of the combined arms too, the rest of that faction, like the greater faction, is very Oni pilled too.
Yeah, like I do really like the combined arms. It's going to be either the JSA, like whatever their group is now called, or probably the combined arms Covenant faction.
There's the Shivasti subfaction in that too.
Those are the guys that I really like. For those who are just joining, we're talking about the Infinity side. We jumped back a couple games,
but
kill team. I'm interested.
This next game, Elliot, I don't know anything about. It's a late ad, so full disclosure.
I can tell you all about it. You ready?
Yeah, I am. Full disclosure for those playing at home, we had a poll deciding. So 3 of these games were locked in. Shatterpoint, Kill Team, and the last one on this list were locked in. We were definitely going to play them. Then the other 3 we were voting on. So Infinity and Quar both got in that running. We had a feeling Quar would. I'm happy Infinity did. I'm a little disappointed Spearhead didn't because I bought a Spearhead and I want to play it and I haven't yet. I actually have 2 Spearheads and I haven't played either of them. But we put Necro molds on the poll, and we think everyone thought it said Necromunda because even us internally thought it said Necromunda. And we can't get a hold of Necromolds anywhere to play it. So
we're going
to play that one day on the channel because it's a miniature war game with Play-Doh.
It's very 90s gross your sister out pill. Like the commercials for toys for boys from the 90s where it's like your sister's gonna hate it. It's that but wargaming, and it's really cool.
So one day we'll play that. We decided to internally to add this game to our list because I know a few people, mostly Ryan and Jordan, are really jazzed about it, and that is Space Gits.
I want to be somebody.
I don't know anything about this game aside from
so I'm gonna tell you exactly what Space Gits is because I was watching videos about it today to learn, and I am suddenly incredibly interested. It is the first, by the creator's statement, it is, quote, the first dexterity-based wargaming skirmish game. The way your characters move, it's all orcs. It's all like 40k orcs, but it's not the military orcs. It's the orcs that are like the cooks and the street urchins and the mechanics and the cops. Like it's the urban non-war orcs of their society. Very strange. Some of them are like retired. Like you make a mech orc, but they're retired orcs who like got too beat up in war and now they're back and they've got like PTSD is literally how he describes it. It's It's a funny video. It's an amazing video. So the way it works is to move, you roll 3 dice, 3d6. And let's say one is a 3 and one is a 4 and one is a 6. In your choosing, you select a die and then you move 6 inches towards that dice if it's the 6. And then you select another die, and let's say it's the 4, and then you move 4 inches towards that other die. So you literally move where you roll your dice. You're trying to move onto bottle caps because that's the loot, and you pick them up. And you're trying to move into enemy orcs so that you can fight them. If you want to shoot them, you roll a die, and if it lands where a line can be drawn from your dude to that die, and it crosses over the enemy orc, you get to shoot them.
Amazing.
And the result of your roll is what you rolled on the die that you're trying to shoot them with. So if you rolled an 8 and their toughness is 4, congratulations, you get to deal damage to them.
Okay,
or more
so
damage.
When I heard dexterity-based wargaming, I was out. Because for a number of reasons, I won't like diss the game. It's a small game. It's a small creator, right? But like, I'm like, I don't want to promote things that like are not, accessible to everyone. No.
That's fair.
I love this. I'm in. I'm so in.
It's so if you have the way your units take damage and are knocked out is not a number of wounds. At the end of a player's model's activation, they chug a drink, right? They take a swig, I think is what it's called. And then you put a d6 next to them. If they take 4 damage, you put 4d6 on top of that. And you make a stack. And every time you move that model, you have to move the stack. And if the stack falls over, then they're knocked unconscious. Right. So it's all goofy, incredibly lighthearted, dexterity-based. A couple weeks ago, he released a video going over how vehicles work. It's also equally as goofy and insane. You can run people over. It's great. Very, very, very lighthearted. Very, very fast-paced. You're literally supposed to start a 30-minute timer, and when the 30 minutes are up from you taking your turns back and forth, a bunch of orc cops show up to try and break up the fight.
Amazing.
Like a bunch of dudes show up to like with shields and clubs and try and beat you up and get you off the field.
So it's like hooligan, like soccer hooligans.
Yeah.
Like it's like the orc trope, but full. Okay.
Yeah, it's the full soccer hooligan. That guy's a chef. That guy's a street urchin. They're fighting over bottle caps, which is loot. And when you get knocked out, you drop loot. If you get into a melee fight with people, you essentially play rock, paper, scissors, where it's pinch, bash, and shove. And if you pinch and you succeed, because let's say they try to push you away and you pinch them, you get to steal loot from them. So you're trying to get and it's built to play with multiple people.
Yeah.
So you can play with 4 people, and the winner is whoever pulls out of the game and has the most bottle caps at the end wins. Very, very goofy, very, very lighthearted, very fast paced. Very fun. It looks like a blast to play.
I might have to make a small Git force for this because that sounds like fun.
Just a few gets. It only takes a couple of models. Very easy to get into. You did make a good point about if there's any kind of mobility issue that someone might have, they might not be able to get into it. But other than that, and you could make accommodations for that in different ways. But other than that, it's maybe the easiest game to get into. The simple rules are free right now, and it takes like 2 or 3 models and some bottle caps. Like that's literally it.
It's funny. I want to point out I've had something negative to say about the last 4 games on this list, and I have something negative to say about the last game on this list. Actually, I think I had something negative to say about all these games on this list. I would play and do want to play most of these games, and am legitimately excited for Skirmish Summer. So if I've said something disparaging about any of your game that you love, trust me, it's just like me going like, hey, this is weird, like this is interesting. Never played it. This last game, however, I'm a big Grimdark guy. And by that I mean I like Grimdark for 40k, and I love the religio fascism tropes in 40k and the satire therein. Uh this game has no interest to me. I think that this game I think this game is one of the games that people are most excited for us to try
Yes.
and play,
Mhm.
both internally and from viewers.
Mhm.
I just can't like it. This game should do everything for me. And I
Mhm.
have
Mhm.
one big reason that I'll get to eventually on why I don't have any interest in it. And that's
Mhm.
Trench
Mhm.
Crusade. So
Trench Crusade.
I think everyone wants to see Trench Crusade. It's kind of been like the new hotness, the last I don't know if anyone's played it. It's been like everyone sort of talked about it.
I don't know if I've seen any. I'm sure they're out there, but I haven't seen from the channels that I follow any battle reports of Trench Crusade. I'm sure there are some battle reports out there. I just haven't seen them.
Mhm.
Yeah, Trench Crusade is one where it does hit all the notes that I should be interested in. I the thing is, when I approach it from the idea of like Diablo, I grew up
Yeah.
with Diablo. I love it, right? Um, if I was going to do it, I would definitely be the Trench Pilgrims because I love their aesthetic and I think that they look really cool. And also, I
think
like
like
the
four
big,
of us
weird,
would play Trench Pilgrims is the thing
because
too.
they're the coolest looking.
Like I think
They're the
that's part of I think
coolest.
that's part of my issue, right? Is that like the army that I would play, A, is just the way
Mhm.
I'm trying to kit bash my Black Templars to look anyways. Right? Because
Okay.
I'm trying to get that like over the top like John Blanche grimdark religious Black Templar vibe,
Yeah.
which is very much what Trench Crusade is. So like
Yeah.
because this game started getting talked about while I was working so heavily on my Templars, I'm like, I can't. I'm out. I can't do another game. So Infinity has a faction that is literally the Black Templars. And I'm like, I can't do two. I can't paint another army of that. I need something different.
I will say the only other the thing that sold me on Trench Crusade. There is one image that sold me on
Is it the
Trench
wizard with the
Crusade.
nuke?
It is the wizard with the nuke.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
is I am a huge fan of Bomb Witch. Bomb Witch is
That's what it is.
cool. The Bomb Witch is cool. So again, resident weeb, huge weeb dude over here. There's an anime called Fire Force. If you haven't heard of it, it's by the same people, by the same author who did Soul Eater. It's got a lot of classic anime tropes. It's a little bit of like a shonen jump kind of like it's got some like childish stuff to it, but the sound design is by the same people who did JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So the sound design is amazing. The effects budget they had was through the roof, and there's some really cool stuff in there. One of the dudes in that manga, in that anime, like summons, they're all like pyromancers, and his thing is that he condenses fire into like it's a physical object and makes missiles and shoots missiles out, and he's literally a bomb witch. And one of the things he can do is make essentially a nuke in his hand and punch you with it, with a nuke made of condensed fire that explodes in a massive explosion. It's so rad. And so when I saw that lady, I went, that's cool. Yeah, I want it.
I was just saying, if anyone's looked into Trench Crusade, you've seen the image of Bomb Witch. You know what we're talking about. I saw a really cool STL for a Bomb Witch today on Facebook, and I went, yeah, I need to buy that STL just to like have it. Like
even if I never play Trench Crusade, I want to get like a figurine of the Bomb Witch. But with like one of those magnet floating things and have the bomb floating above her hand and like actually above her head floating and the bomb like you can do with like pens or globes or moons or stuff. That's what I want. That's the thing that spoke to me.
The 3D printer company that Matt and I use, the 3D printer that Matt and I have, the company that makes that and makes the kits for that and stuff like that, they have a kit for levitating stuff like that. So yeah, Yeah, doable.
Okay.
Doable. I'll
Very
see if I can
doable.
find. I'll see if I can find some files and we can work on that. But yeah,
I didn't know that. Hold on. One Speed Wonder says Trench Crusade main artist was a concept artist for Diablo, so your feelings are not that far off. That explains it. It really did. Okay, that explains it. His art, yeah, his art really spoke through. Because the second I saw it, I was like, oh, this like really hits that like nostalgic vibe. It's a new IP, but it hits that nostalgic vibe for me. That definitely explains it. Yeah. I haven't seen it played. I don't know the rules. It really is carried for me in my head.
I was relying on you for that.
I don't know this one. So I guess that's a lie. I do know some of the rules. It's got some interesting mechanics. I just don't know fully how to play it. Like the other ones I watched like a full playthrough of.
Oh wow. You really
Trench Crusade. Yeah, so Trench Crusade is a little bit. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did read some of the rules and see some of that. So some interesting stuff is that its dice system is really interesting. Do you know how that works?
I don't know anything.
So for every time you're doing a risky thing, anytime you're doing any kind of test, you roll 2d6. If you have a plus die, then you roll 3d6, and it isn't adding to your result. You just take the two highest. And if you have a minus die, you roll 3 die and you take the two lowest. If you have 2 minus dice, you roll 4 die, 4d6, and take the two lowest of those d6, right? So you have these stacking pluses and minuses, and it doesn't let you roll more die. It's just affecting which ones you get to choose from there and increasing your odds of rolling well.
It does make you roll more die, but it doesn't let you add more die to the end result. You're just
to the end result. Yes. They have another one, another function called blood markers. And the blood markers are, so if I hit your unit and now you have a blood marker on you, right? Mm-hmm. You're hurt. If you're going to shoot me, I can spend the blood marker on you to make you take a -1 die on the roll.
Okay.
Or I can spend the blood marker on you when I'm rolling damage to give me a bonus to the damage.
I feel like I like
this. So you put tokens, you put tokens on the opponent, and then you can spend those tokens on your opponent's turn or on your turn to either to represent them being weakened in that way. It's very interesting game design, very interesting. I'm a big fan of this kind of like floating 2d6 like modifier.
Yeah, that's a really cool. That's a really cool system. It reminds me of it like Advantage from D&D, but like to the extreme, like extreme advantage.
Yeah. Like really extreme advantage. It's it's one of those things where it took me a second to explain it to you, sure, but it was something that I could explain to you without.
And I get it.
Yeah, and you get it. It's very easy, and so I feel like it's one of those games where it might have a little bit of a learning curve, might be a little slow at first, but I feel like once you get into it, you're like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and spend those blood tokens. Actually, okay, I'm going to roll this. Oh, I have 2 minuses. I'm going to roll 4. Okay, I'm looking for these. Like, I feel like it's going to go quick.
Elliot, it's Edge of the Empire with D6s.
Yeah.
So it's you have
and
to
Edge of the Empire is cool.
You have to get it explained, but once you get it, and it's like Edge is my favorite role-playing game of all time.
I'm not interested in playing it in the Star Wars universe, but I've played Edge in like other universes, and it was really fun.
Well, then Genesis is my favorite role-playing game of all time.
Well, then Genesis, there you go.
Which is Edge of the Empire with serial numbers filed off. I think there's something to what you said about the Star Wars stuff that like, hey, maybe I'd be into this if I got my own models and like what have you. My like overall, I think problem with this game is it feels to me like it's grimdark religio-fascism without like, I have a problem with that when that's presented without it being satirical. And like, not that this isn't satirical, but it's like, because it's definitely tongue in cheek and it's definitely over the top, but like, it's not a critique. And not that 40K is a good critique or a good satire, but at least that's there, and I could find that if I want. And I think that's
totally fair.
But I don't know.
I feel like
researched, but that's just my gut.
I definitely see you there. I definitely feel that. I think the thing about Trench Crusade for me is that art design, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, here, Epic Gamer says Trench Crusade's rules are by one of the Mordheim designers. It's a
Oh, great.
relatively simple war game from my experience, but I love it. 1.0 coming out next month. So it's got a lot of talent behind it, clearly. Like, it's got a Diablo art designer, it's got a Mordheim game designer. Clearly, at least looking at the rules and looking at the art, love it. Beautiful and quick and easy and really sleek game design from what I've seen. I'll have to look up and see who the writer is, and maybe like what the writing team looks like. But I feel like maybe they didn't spend enough time on that, or it just hasn't had enough time to develop. But it is very one note, and I would like it to be more fleshed out and broader, so that you can get that kind of stronger feel. Because you are right, where it is very much like demons are here, you are demon or fight demon, and then that's it. And you're like, okay, I mean, it's beautiful and I want to play,
which to
but like, why?
To an extent, that's what Warhammer was originally, right? Like,
true.
To be like, you know, so
that's totally fair. It might grow into something, magnificent and some kind of amazing. Well, I was about to say space opera, but not a space opera, but like a tragic, grimdark opera-esque world. But it just isn't there yet. So narratively, it's hard to get sink my teeth into. Right. But I am still excited about it.
And I think you and I definitely tend towards like looking at that narrative focus. Like Ryan, Ryan definitely too. But I think Ryan could be very much inspired by the art over more so than myself, at least, right? Like, I want to see, I want to see a function behind it other than like, hey, this is medieval. Like, this is what if the Crusades didn't end, right? Sort of.
I need a little bit of salt and pepper for my steak. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Epic Gamer says the Islamic faction is incredibly well done. I would be curious about that. That's like a vibe.
They are really cool.
So I think you and I both, like, I don't know. Are we going to get, okay, I won't put you in this camp. I'll say it for myself. And if you want to jump on here.
What are you? Wait, Sean, wait.
I love the vibe of like, the sort of the Islamic faction, like Prince of Persia, or like the Egyptian faction with, like Khemri Tomb Kings or Thousand Sons. Like, that's always like a vibe that I love. So I would be curious about that. There's a Quar faction that's sort of like they're very much have like that sort of North African feel to them that I would be curious about checking out too, if I were to play Quar. But I don't know that they actually are a fleshed out faction. I think they're just one that's like offhandedly mentioned. So
there's a few of the Quar ones that are smaller, and then there's like 3 main ones, and then like 3 like less main ones as far as Quar goes, as far as I was able to see. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something, but that seems to be the case.
One Speed Wonder says the lore knowledge is really well studied about the religions and history. And I that was something that I definitely caught, like, my initial perusal of it all. It's just a matter of like, I don't know. I needed something that wasn't there. I wasn't finding something that was there that when I want that vibe, I want something very specific. And part of that is because I grew up so like entrenched in like Catholic myth and Catholic like.
I grew up in Christian, born again, evangelical, Baptist, vibes. And so also for me, like, if it's just like, and this is Christianity, I go, ugh, my old wounds. I want something else there.
I need to make fun of it a little bit better, right?
I do appreciate them, especially for the Islamic faction. I do appreciate them having that accuracy, because it's very easy.
Do we know what the Islamic faction is called rather than just calling it the Islamic?
The Iron Sultanate.
Okay, that's a great name.
I believe that's what it's called. Someone correct me.
I don't know, and I'll point out there was someone, I don't want to name names, but Elliot, you'll know who I'm talking about. we have a friend who also like pointed out like, hey, there's no like Jewish representation or
True.
Judaism representation in this, and like if you're gonna go for this vibe, you should sort of
Yeah, if you're going to
have
represent the Abrahamic religions and like an Abrahamic ideal of what hell is, although it definitely leans towards the Christian understanding, and not even like biblical Christian. It leans towards the like Faustian and what's the whatever Lost, Atlas Lost, where Lucifer falls from heaven, like
Paradise
that whole
Lost.
story, Paradise
Yeah.
Lost. It's definitely using that like extracurricular Christian idea of what hell and what devils are.
Mhm.
It's like non-biblical, Christian fan fiction, is what it leans into, which is, especially if it has the art designer from Diablo, that makes sense. But if it is going to be something that's based off of Abrahamic religions in general, because the Iron Sultanate is there, you would want to see some Jewish representation as well.
You know what? These guys might have sold me.
There's a longer proper name. The Sultanate of the Iron Wall. Yeah, there it is.
These guys might have sold. These guys might have sold.
They've got like lion warriors, and yeah, there they go. These like super crazy like. So I'm trying to remember again. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Like all of the factions, like there's the one Christian faction that like basically is cloning Jesus and then injecting that into people to make them super soldiers. Because there's been like 5 Jesuses or 7 Jesuses or something like that, and then they make mutant superhumans out of the Jesus clones. If I remember right, they also do some kind of like mutation stuff with like divine mutation stuff, and that's where those lion dudes come from. They're like doing like divine science to turn dudes into like super lion soldiers, and then they go out. I think I understand that correctly.
Okay. I might be
the lore is, I mean, it's one of those things where there is a lot of lore there. I don't know. It's just I haven't bit into it as well as I have with other mythoses. I think they're going to expand the amount of war bands, like we have seen a concept for vampires, Polish winged hussars.
I haven't had to pronounce this name. Hussar? I think it's Hussar.
Hussar?
Yeah, Hussar, winged Hussar.
So I'm sorry, there's going to be Polish winged hussars that are vampires? That actually sounds rad. Okay.
I was going to say, I only know
they have
the
a
word
rabbi
if
as
I
part
say
of their
winged in front of it, so...
Yeah. Or faithfully to the... part of their consult team to ensure they develop the lore faithfully to the religion. Oh, they have a rabbi as part of the team. Oh, okay. Awesome. Cool. So then perfect. Yeah, it's still very early. They showed what they had. I am interested in them expanding it more. I am very interested in the world. It's just, like I said, I think it's so new.
I have to bite.
It doesn't have as much as I want.
I think that for me, like, I need something to bite into on this before because that was one thing with like Infinity. Mm-hmm. So I like tried to do a lore deep dive in Infinity, and like there's some lore, but it's not like super in depth, and like which was kind of a bummer to me because like it's a game that's been around over a decade already, and like lore exists, but not like to the scale that I'm used to for most things.
Yeah, it's definitely game first, lore second, and I'm definitely more of a lore first, game second, which and maybe I'm spoiled because I play 40K and it's had 50 years of like, it has a 500 book novel series for just the war leading up to the basics of it's like there's so much. There's the glot of lore you have for 40K, and then I look at something else that's new on the market and I'm like, oh, there isn't enough lore here. Like I feel like I'm
my one miniature like weird thing to latch onto, right? Like
like I feel like I'm being a big baby, you know what I mean? Sure. But I am very excited about them. I know I kind of like, of these, I spoke the most negatively of Kill Team. I am still very excited about it. It's just it's not what I remembered it being, so it's going to take me a little bit of a learning curve. But I like Kill Team. I think it's cool. I'm excited to play more of that in like boarding actions and stuff, and especially because if ever since I did the grand narrative, the idea of like playing different games and developing the lore of my army individually. So like, oh, these guys went and did their kill team mission while the rest of the army was doing that over here, and I could like build that into the lore. That's really cool. That has some like really cool implications. So I'm excited about all of it. I think Skirmish Summer is going to be really fun. I hope everyone tunes in for it.
We're still gonna talk about 40K on After Dark. We're also, and I haven't talked to Jordan about this yet. Not that Jordan's like the end all be all on this, but
he's our boss.
We sort of treat him like he is, because someone's got to make decisions around here.
Well, I mean, he started the YouTube account, and he has the army, so it feels like respectful in my. And he said not to do this, but in my head, I'm like, well, it's respectful to defer to him. Yeah. But then he's multiple times been like, I'm not the boss. So it's hard.
But also like he is. You know, when we need a boss, he's the boss.
He's the boss.
So I haven't talked to Jordan or anyone else for that matter about this. I want to do recaps, like not a recap on the games for as part of After Dark for the next once this starts. I want to do not a recap, but like a debrief. Hey, what did we think of the game? Like, would we play the game again? Do we recommend the game? It's like, you know, kind of an after action report to sort of.
We should force Jordan to make like a animated music like transition, like we're going over to the weather or like another report, and like it's a full segment, and then get him to do that, and then we can debriefing, and then and then it cuts over, and then we give our thoughts, and then it and then we go back to the regular After Dark. We should force him to do that.
In the world where After Dark starts a half hour later than it does, we have segments because I make it happen, but I don't have time after I literally get off work. Elliot saw me change my shirt literally like 2 seconds before hitting the live button out of my work clothes.
He just suddenly proclaimed he's going to get naked, and I went, all right, that's fine. All right, okay. Hey, you know what? We've been friends long. You know what? I guess it's been long enough.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get naked.
That I can. But yeah, I think that I want to do some of that as we move forward through Skirmish Summer. But also, we're still going to be talking about plenty of 40K. And then also the nice thing about Skirmish Summer is it gives Jordan time to update to the new objectives for the stream for 40K, because we're going to get new objectives during Skirmish Summer. The new whatever those objective decks are called. I don't even know anymore. But we also have big things coming for August. There's some things happening that we haven't talked about or announced, and I hope that we will at some point. But stay tuned for that. 40K adjacent, 40K involved, 40K stuff. And I think one thing we should touch on before we close out. I said this was going to be a short stream, Elliot, and now we've been here for an hour.
That's totally fine.
Are there any of the games that we're not playing that you're disappointed we're not playing?
The Mech Warrior. I've played that with Ryan a few times, and it's just honestly a really fun game. He introduced it to me at Ashton's bachelor party, actually. We played like a smaller version of that where we all had a single mech. Really cool, really fun game. Once you, again, takes a second to get the rules, like you have like a little list, but once you kind of go, oh, I get it, really fast, really easy. Also, Mech Warrior is just a cool setting. So that one I was really hoping was going to get on there. I was hoping that
not called Mech Warrior, by the way. It's called BattleTech.
BattleTech. Oh my god! So BattleTech, I was really excited to play BattleTech.
Something was off. I'm like, yeah, Mech Warrior. That's the game we play on the internet, which is based on BattleTech. So like,
yes. That's why I was calling it Mech Warrior. So the little robot game with the robots that are actually big in lore, but they're small on the table. That one. On the hex grid.
Yeah, with the hex grid.
With the hex grid. And then also I really wanted to play the second thing I was really hoping would be on the list is boarding actions. We've played them only like a couple of times on the stream. It's another 40K adjacent game, but I do remember really liking boarding actions. I thought they were really cool. And they're like at the same kind of, kill team level of like just small, fast, but also I like the structures and the doors and like it's just cool playing on a Space Hulk.
They meet so at the end of first edition Kill Team, they introduced the Pry Nexus stuff. The name of the thing they keep reusing a billion times for a bunch of different things. They introduced Pry Nexus, which had the Necron terrain with the doors and the like sort of corridors. So it definitely feels like the spiritual successor to that. And I've never played boarding actions, Elliot.
Okay.
So I would like to.
We should
when I get out to Atlanta. And also, let us know in the Discord if you're a Discord member, whether you're a certified enjoyer or just a regular old free 99 member. Let us know in the Discord if you want to see us play more other games, because I think that there's a push for that, and I think there's a push for us to I think 40K is an easy thing for us to go, hey, we're playing 40K again this week, right? We're mainly a 40K channel, but I think that there's some love for other games. One Speed Wonder says Spearhead. Spearhead was my number one.
See, I've just never played any of the fantasy, so I don't know.
Spearhead was my number 2, I think.
What was your number 1?
My number 1, I can't remember the name of. It's the one with Hot
But it's
Wheels.
your number 1 pick.
Yeah, it's the one with Hot Wheels.
Gaslands.
Gaslands. My number 1 was Gaslands.
So Gaslands, the same creator as Space Gets.
Okay.
Yeah. So Gaslands, for those who don't know, Gaslands is a game where you basically take a little Hot Wheel and then glue a bunch of stuff all over it, and then you play in like a post-apocalyptic car shooty like Mad Max game.
Yeah, so humanity has colonized Mars, and then essentially there was a war between Earth and Mars, and Earth lost. So Gaslands, it takes place on the nuked wreck of Earth. What remains of Earth after Mars is the new sort of. So it's
the Gundam universe where the Zaku's won.
Yes. Sure.
Okay.
Fun fact. So my dad, growing up, my dad through his work often got a bunch of weird Hot Wheels and diecast models, diecast cars that were like limited edition and stuff. So I pulled this out of my box of I need to sell these on eBay because they're worth something. This is going to be my first Gaslands car, which is like worth money apparently. But I have 2 of them, so I could sell one and then fuck this one up. But what's cool is it's got a little catch under the bottom, and I can take it off, and it's just the shell.
Oh, I have a few old, or I guess I should say. So right before we announced Skirmish Summer, and I saw Gaslands was like potentially going to be on the list, I literally took all of my Hot Wheels. I had like a big box of like, because every time I was good in a store, my mom would get me a new Hot Wheel. Yep. So I had like 150 Hot Wheels. I had so many Hot Wheels, a big heavy box. I literally just like a month or 2 ago took that over to my neighbor and gave it to his like 5-year-old son, so that he had like a giant box of Hot Wheels, which is awesome and rad. But then we were like, and then Gaslands, and I'm like, I don't own any Hot Wheels anymore. I'll have to go buy one.
When we do Gaslands, I want to have like one of those rig carriers that you drive the cars onto. Like, I have thoughts on Gaslands. I think that a lot of the games we're going to end up playing.
I mean, we can always, it's Skirmish Summer, but we could also have like
go on.
Whittle War Winter.
Whittle War
just
Winter?
A Whittle War.
Whittle War Winter?
Whittle War. Yeah, it's just a Whittle one. It's not a big war.
Guys,
it's just a Whittle one.
Tell Jordan in the Discord that you want Whittle War Winter. Please.
It's all I could come up with. I panicked, Sean. I panicked. That's all I could come up with.
Trust me. So what you just did on stream, I did off stream to myself the other day. I'm like, well, how do we do another Skirmish summer? Not in the summer. What do we call it? I didn't get to Widow War Winter. But yeah. So anyways, that's my mom. Yeah, I had a big giant box of Hot Wheels as well. I had all the tracks and the shit of the city stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I want to build an urban board so bad for 40K, as it reminds me of my Hot Wheels days.
Yeah.
But okay, so Epic Gamer has some notes for Infinity Lore. He says a lot of it's in the RPGs, which I didn't know there were Infinity RPGs. That's cool to know. And then there's a channel called War Lore, which has videos covering the Infinity Lore book or rulebook material. So I will have to check that out because Ryan and I are both, I think, a little intimidated. Ryan less so than me, because his brain approaches that stuff better than I do.
Yes, true. He has a very systems driven brain. I have a decently systems driven brain, but once like one too many systems gets involved, my brain goes, and then all the gears stop.
I like systems supporting something else, so I need to get the something else first.
Yeah, we'll have to look up the RPG books.
Yeah, and I will say, if you do want to see Spearhead, I do think we will get some Spearhead, some more Spearhead, and hopefully some full scale AOS on the channel. Whenever I can find a job in Atlanta.
Yeah. I think some extra avenues for games will open up once you get out here.
Yeah.
That's on the to-do list. And not just that, but also just like it'll be easier for us to get together and do more things. Once we add your efforts into the mix.
We need one more available body.
Yeah, because right now with everyone having full-time jobs, Mondays works best for us, but it's still rough. And we're usually pretty tired by the end of the day, and we're trying to get in and do stuff. So I think having one more body to cycle out and support and stuff will definitely help. But also, more importantly, it'll open up more avenues for us to play more different games. Which, yes, also, we started as a 40K channel, and that's where like the whole slam sector idea came from and all that. But
I should say,
but I am open to more games.
Elliot and I are a little out of pocket right now. This is not us saying like, hey, expect us to play less 40K. That's not what we're saying at all. We're gonna play plenty of 40K.
Hey, disclaimer. This is a disclaimer, everybody. We're not Jordan, so that means we don't make the calls. No, I'm just joking. We're just ruminating on things we would like to do. But we would all like to have more fun, right?
But also with like the body availability and stuff, like playing more games means we get people like Alex playing, Shatterpoint and stuff like that. So, or who knows, people that you've never seen on the channel that we play other games with that may, pop in for one thing or another. So, but
we're excited. I'm excited about Skirmish Summer. I'm excited about what we got planned after that. I'm excited for the rest of the year. I really appreciate everyone being here and hanging out and chatting with us. I hope you all are excited for Monday.
Monday is what?
Monday
is it Thousand Suns?
Oh my God! Do I need to get?
Is it Thousand Suns?
Oh, my brain! Is it Thousand Suns? Oh no! Everybody, calm down! Everybody, calm down! Is it what's today's date?
Today is the 28th. Monday would be June 2nd. Is Chaos Space Marines versus Dark Angels.
I'm on cams. You scared the hell out of me. Oh my God, Sean, why would you do that to me?
The following week is the Burning of Prospero.
The following week is the Burning of Prospero with the Space Wolves and the Thousand Suns, presumably a new codex with new points. And we'll go from there. I'll have to figure out what I want to play for Thousand Suns. I'm waiting to see what the points are and kind of fiddle with it, but I am very excited about that.
The codex page for it leaked. Well, no, the data, it came out today.
Did it come out today?
Yeah, points came out today.
I've been in the office all day.
I'm pretty sure points came out today.
Yeah, we had that really. If you haven't seen it, we had a really awesome conversation with Brad from Poor Hammer last Wednesday, talking about the Thousand Suns Codex. Check that out with our opinions there. We did the slam scale as we always do for the detachments. Very excited. I think I rated it higher than both of them. Like my point total added together was higher than theirs.
Now, Elliot,
I'm a cup full kind of guy. Huh?
That was your first time using the slam scale on screen, I believe.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the slam scale?
I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Good.
I agree with Brad that it allows you to hit all of the important notes in a clear and segmented way, and still in like a fun way without taking it too seriously. So I'm a big fan of the slam. I do need the M to be.
Still in a way you can integrate dick jokes.
Yes. Well, he did that a lot.
Yeah. You said you want the M to be, were you about to say you want the M to be mouthfeel?
Was I going to say what now?
Were you about to say you want the M to be mouthfeel?
Well, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, great.
So, anyway, we appreciate you here. We're excited. We'll see you on Monday for some Chaos Space Marines and some Dark Angels, which will be a good, fun matchup with Ryan and Jordan. You know how they get. And then Wednesday, we'll just be doing our normal thing. We'll be chatting. We'll be talking.
Right.
I don't think we have a plan for next Wednesday.
No plan for next Wednesday. We'll figure that out.
For a second, I thought we knew, but we don't.
No, because we didn't know where some stuff has been. So for After Dark, some stuff with having Brad on and having Josh on, some stuff's been in the air as far as scheduling that. So we didn't know where we were doing this preview episode. Plus, we didn't know. We just didn't know. Also, it's Ryan's birthday, so like. It's Ryan's birthday. I don't know how to Ryan ain't here. Jordan's working. Like this week was just kind of like, yeah, we're doing preview for this, and next week we'll figure it the hell out. So, guys, I don't know. That's it. That's all I got. Hitting a button, and we're going bye bye.
Have a wonderful night.